There weren't as many games tonight as there were on Thursday night. Still, that doesn't mean we don't have exciting things to bring you, because high school football is always exciting. Just ask the cheerleaders from South Christian. They'll tell you. The Sailors had a big game. Our game of the week was about a West Side clash. Tons of high school and college action coming up next on Sidelines. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Week 2 edition of 13 on Your Sidelines. I'm Jamal Spencer.
And I'm Mark Skoll Jr. Fewer teams than normal are playing tonight because of Labor Day weekend, but we still got plenty of action to share with you.
Plenty of action indeed. First things first, though, we have to introduce you to our guest. That would be the polite thing to do. So please welcome the cheerleaders from West Ottawa High School. And the cheerleaders from South Christian High School.
Now on to our Friday night game of the week. It's an old rivalry from the former Grand Rapids City League. Starting next year, Union and West Catholic will be conference opponents again in the OK Blue.
Most definitely, but for now, they're facing off as non-conference opponents and meeting for the first time since 2015. This is a game that divides households on the west side of Grand Rapids. West Catholic would waste no time putting their new scoreboard to use. On 3rd and 7, Charlie DeBruin, wearing number 0, is going to run it in from 41 yards out to put 6 points on the board, and the following point after would be good. That put the Falcons up 7-0. The home crowd was fired up after that one. Aww. Later in the first, Union looking to get their fans going. Jesse Phillips grinding his way into the end zone, or into the red zone, excuse me. On the very next play, he's going to power through 3 tackle attempts and then get into the end zone, making it a 14-7 game. Finally giving the Union crowd something to be excited about, but that did not last long. West Catholic's Alec Wickstrom airs it out big here, finds senior wide receiver Gabe Schweiders along the far sideline, and he's going to run this one home. After this play, it looks like the Falcons are ready to run away with the game. Start of the second half now. It looks like Union has come out ready to fight. Junior Christopher Murphy-Ware takes this one in. The Red Hawks fans liking what they're seeing so far for the second half. Union not going quietly. It's a well-coached team. That joy would unfortunately be short-lived, though, because on the very next kickoff, special teams is important. Senior wide receiver Carter Perry, starting near his own 10-yard line, weaving his way through a bunch of Red Hawks, and turns on the boosters, not catching that guy. All the way, putting West Catholic up 56-14 late in the third. And after Union's Grayson Fellows will tack on one more, but it's too little too late. West Catholic wins at 63-21. After the game, we caught up with head coach Landon Grove on what it means to be getting a big win at their first home game after a championship season.
It's good, you know, it's validation to our kids that we've turned the page on last year, you know. This team hasn't won anything of noteworthy. We're 2-0, that's great. That was our goal, to start 2-0 so we can enter OK Blue play. You know, feeling good about ourselves, but the next step is winning the OK Blue, and that starts next week with a really good Coopersville program.
Now, this is the best team that Union has had on paper in quite some time, but still you can tell there's a big gap between that Red Hawks team and the defending state champs.
Definitely, and the defending state champs without touchdown Timmy Kloska, and they're still putting up all these points. I talked to Coach Grove earlier in the week. He was getting on his guys, and they went up and scored 40-plus points again to win again for the second week in a row. Last week they played a really good Edwardsburg team. This West Catholic team, I think they have a chance to go back to Ford Field.
A lot of people, myself included, thought the offense might take a step back without Tim Kloska. I mean, the guy's a D1 running back. Obviously, you're going to miss him, but this offense has been stout, or the offensive line, rather, has been stout. It's been a really quality attack for the Falcons. Looks like you just said, they're not missing anything. Well, it's hard to have a better beginning to your season than the start the Rockford Rams got off to last week. They were featured in the 13 on Your Sidelines game of the week, went undaunted into a hostile environment at Hackley Stadium and put a hurting on Muskegon.
But tonight the Rams would have another road battle against a Mona Shores team that got off to a pretty good start themselves. This game went down to the wire last year, so let's see how this one would turn out. First quarter, the Sailors are driving, but the Rockford D steps up big as Ryan Ahern knocks the ball loose. Garrett Tembrink is there to hop on it. It's scoreless after 1. Midway through the second, Drake Irwin goes deep to Logan Green all alone for a 57-yard score. It's 7-0 Rockford. Late in the half, the Rams would make it 10-0 on a 34-yard Lucas Bajima field goal. In the third, Irwin and Green team up again for the Rams on another deep ball. Rockford takes a 17-0 lead. They are cruising. The offense was rolling, the D pitching a shutout, and now the Rams special teams gets in on the fun with a blocked punt. And on the very next play, Irwin lofts one up for Lucas Pitch as Rockford blows this game open. It's 24-0. Early in the fourth, the Rams put the game away on a halfback toss from Ahern to Green. Rockford rolls 31-8. They are just showing off there.
Now, I know you haven't been here that long, but before you got here, Rockford was a team known for ground and pound, fullbacks, big offensive linemen, tons of running. This Rockford team now has tons of speed and space. They got the spread offense to show it off.
They got a lot of guys on their team, too. I think that helps them out, having all that depth on the roster. But, man, they are looking really good so far this season. Big wins against Muskegon and Mona Shores. Now, after last week's loss to Rockford, there wasn't much time to recover from Muskegon. They had to get back up and dust themselves off quickly because this week, Warren De La Salle is coming to town.
Nate Belt was at Hackley Stadium tonight for that showdown.
Yeah, guys, the Pilots lost to Davison last week. Now, it is certainly strange to see both of these powerhouse teams coming into week 2 with 0-1 records. So who is going to get back on the board this week? Muskegon coach Shane Fairfield says big games like this, great way to see which team is made of. First drive for the Pilots. Quarterback Sante Gasparoni takes it himself for the score, 7-0 early. Theme in this game, quarterback runs. Keep an eye on that. A couple plays later, Big Reds bounce right back. Legs of quarterback Makai Guy. Long run. He's really fast. Just kidding. We sped that out. There he goes. De La Salle coming right back through the air. This time Gasparoni finds Damian King the fourth. He's going to get a nice touchdown pose right for the camera there. Pilots are up 13 with under a minute and a half. And here comes Destin Piggy. Goal line to goal line. The man's going to take it all the way to the house. Is it Piggy? Is it PG? Just kidding. We know it's Piggy. I was making fun of a former coworker. I want to highlight Makai Guy's incredible the Tasmanian Devil cleats. Those are incredible, and they are getting a workout tonight. Here he goes again to start the second half. 92 yards to the house, and the Big Reds back on top. The Muskegon's offense was very hit or miss the whole night. Either an explosive play or turning the ball right over. The rest of the evening was unfortunately a miss. The Pilots scored 2 more times in the fourth quarter. That run by Gasparoni is going to be the dagger. Big Reds fall to 0-2 on the season. Final score 40-28.
Some people might be surprised by them dropping the first 2 games, but they played 2 of the best teams in the state.
They did. They really did.
This is a veteran team that I think is going to be okay as the season goes on.
I still think there's a really good shot they're going back to Ford Field. I mean, Muskegon, one of the state powers every single year. They still got Makai Guy, who won the 13 on Your Sidelines MVP of the week 2 times last year. He's an unbelievable talent. They got Destin Piggy, like Nate mentioned in the highlight. They've got a lot of talent. They're going to be just fine.
They'll learn from that loss. They'll bounce back. South Christian cheerleaders, this next one is for you. The defending state champion Sailors were in action tonight against East Grand Rapids.
South Christian has only defeated East 1 time, but it was last year as the Sailors were charting their course to Ford Field. Would it be the incredible Sailor offense or the rock-solid Pioneer defense coming out on top tonight? First score of the game comes off of the leg of Will Cannon. It is good. From 36 yards out, EGR leads 3-0. Second quarter now, Sailors face 4th and 2. Carson Viss throws it up top to Jake Verma. South Christian just needs a first down. They get a touchdown instead. Not bad, 35-yard TD. Sailors lead 7-3. We go to the second half now. Pioneers now lead 10-7. Carson Viss keeps the ball himself, and he gets into the paint box from 24 yards out. Sailors retake the lead. It's 14-10. Fourth quarter now. Scotty Millman runs behind his offensive line. They guide him into the end zone. That's a 4-yard tutty. We've got a great ball game on our hands. It's 17-14 EGR. 36 seconds left. South Christian has the ball inside the 10. Viss looks to pass, but keeps it himself, and he is in for the score. The Sailors just need a stop to pull this one out, but the Pioneers have one last chance. 2 seconds left. Carson Thornton throws up a prayer, and Tommy Cavanaugh answers it. Are you kidding me? EGR pulls off the upset with a 30-yard score, 23-21 in the final seconds.
Now, you mentioned that upset. You know that coaching staff well at EGR. That team, the Sailors, 15-game winning streak. They don't lose easily. It's a heartbreaker, but a big win for EGR.
Oh yeah, Josh Shattuck, I covered him when I was working in South Bend, where he's the head coach of the Elkhart Lions, and he's a great coach. You saw it here, and I think he's maybe getting EGR on the right track. What a play by Tommy Cavanaugh.
Unbelievable. Well, we got plenty more high school action to come on 13 on Your Sidelines, including Caledonia's first home game on that new turf and a road trip for Tri-County.
Plus, after a tough start to the season, Grand Rapids Catholic Central brings another well-respected program to Cougar Stadium. Find out how they fared against River Rouge.
And who is going to be crowned the first MVP of the week? We'll tell you this. It was a come-from-behind effort in the voting process that had us on pins and needles until the polls closed.
This is NFL veteran and Ferris State alum Justin Zimmer from Greenville High School. You're watching 13 on Your Sidelines. Go Jackets!